Would I be the jerk for ruining my sibling's wedding? My sister is getting married in September. Her fiancé is a great fellow. I love him and her and am pretty stoked they are getting married. In fact, I am going to be officiating the ceremony. One of the first things my sister told me after they got engaged was that her nephews and niece need to be in the wedding. This was about a year ago. I am a father to my 2-year-old son and 3-month-old daughter, who will be 6 months old at the wedding. I thought this was a super cute idea. However, I have children and know how unpredictable little people are. She does not have children yet, so my wife and I separately gave her the lowdown on possible issues with including such young kids in the wedding. She totally gets it and has no issues with the calamities that may ensue. Here is the issue. When my children are at her wedding, there is a possibility that we may not be able to stay for the whole wedding reception. We are certainly going to try to stay for as long as possible, but a toddler having a tantrum because they are tired is no fun for anyone to be around. I try to be pretty mindful of my children's impact on the people around them out of respect for other people, but it is not always easy. The fact that we may leave early has my sister upset. She cannot believe that I would even consider leaving early and thinks it is going to ruin the day. Her opinion is that we should get a babysitter to come to the wedding venue to pick up our children and take them away after dinner. We have told her that this is not super practical. For the non-parents out there, little people ride in car seats. Installing car seats is a terrible experience, and I cannot imagine trying to do that in the parking lot of a wedding venue. The wedding venue is about 15 miles from where we live, which feels a little far for a sitter to drive anyway. Some other information is that my wife's family is not reliable, and my wife and I do not trust her family to watch the children or come get them from the venue. Any babysitter option would be outside of the family. Would I be the asshole if she had made the wedding child-free and we refused to cooperate? In my opinion, she was the one who wanted the children there, so there they will be. So would I be the asshole for ruining my sister's wedding by leaving early? Maybe consider hiring a professional babysitter for the wedding who can look after the kids in a nearby room. This way, the parents can relax and enjoy the party while the kids are entertained. Alternatively, have a backup plan, such as one parent taking the kids home if they start to melt down, and the other staying to support your sister. It's a bit of a compromise, but it might prevent any unexpected chaos and keep everyone happy. Am I the jerk for choosing my dream school over being close to my boyfriend? For context, I am a 22-year-old female and my boyfriend is a 30-year-old male. We have been together for 8 months. We met during my senior year at undergraduate school, and for the last 1 to 2 months, we have been in a long-distance relationship due to my job. When we are together, we get along great, but when we are long-distance, we argue nearly every day. My graduate school is about 3 to 4 hours away by driving from where he resides. During my senior year, I applied and got accepted into a master's program at my dream school. I wanted to go there since my freshman year of college and wanted to make my family proud. I knew that graduate school is what I need personally to learn and succeed in my future career. My parents had encouraged me to focus on wrapping up my undergraduate studies and job applications, as opposed to getting financial assistance, as they would do their best to help, which I have always been very grateful for. I made this clear to my boyfriend, and he was okay with it for a while, until my parents did not approve of our relationship. They said some hurtful things about how I am as a person, and who they believe he is. They had threatened to disown me and withdraw financial support. As a result, my boyfriend and I looked into alternate options and thought I could still go to that school but get my degree online instead. I could then go with him and get a full-time job where he is after the summer. I was completely on board with that until my family came around and told me that even though they do not like my boyfriend, they will still financially support me for my school. This made it hard for me because I want to be close to my boyfriend, but I also want to go to school in person. Online classes are not great for me as I tend to not learn as much. However, I felt that maybe I could learn more if I had a full-time job with it. My boyfriend was pushing for me to go online as long distance is hard on us, and he wants us to be close together. When talking to friends about the situation, all of them told me repeatedly to not choose my boyfriend over school. They said this school was what I always wanted to attend in person, that going in person is better than online, and that I am just starting my life career-wise. I even talked to my boyfriend's mother, and she said to pick what makes me happy and to not go based on what her son would like in a relationship. She said that he will follow where I go regardless of what I pick. As a result, I ended up choosing to go in person to graduate school. Telling my boyfriend this was not easy, but I told him a couple of days ago. He was not very happy about this but said that he will do his best to work things out with the distance. However, he would say from time to time that I am choosing distance over us and that I could have made things better if I just took the alternate route of going online instead. So, am I the asshole for choosing education in person over going online and being close to my boyfriend? Nothing you have done here makes me think you are the jerk. If he was the one, he would support you in following your dreams and chosen path. It's a major red flag that he's substantially older and behaving so immaturely about it. It seems like everyone, including you, wants you to go to your dream school, and he's the only one with an issue. You get one life to live, so do not sell yourself short and give up on your dreams for someone you've only dated for 8 months. Am I the jerk for telling my sister to just not come to my wedding? Hi, I've been debating putting this on here because I know how vicious people can be, but I need to know if I was in the wrong here. I am a 28-year-old female with an older sister named Melly, who is 32 years old. I got engaged 9 months ago, and wedding preparations are well underway. We are set to marry this August. A few weeks ago, I approached some select friends and my sister Melly to be my bridesmaids. They all accepted, and I was very excited. I made a group chat to send dress inspiration for them and me because I wanted to share my plans with my friends. The pictures I sent were of a color palette and styles. I told my bridesmaids to pick a color and stay sort of within the style of the dresses I thought looked nice. I wrote that I would pay for the dresses because I have the means to do so and thought it would be a nice thing to do. My sister is very touchy about money. She doesn't have a stable job and often has to ask family members for help with bills. For the record, I have never judged her for this, and I have helped her in the past when needed. Melly saw the message I sent and immediately left the group chat, which confused me. I messaged her privately and asked her why she left so abruptly, and she said she didn't need pity money from me. I was really upset that she took my gesture the wrong way, and I told her that it wasn't just for her. I was paying for everyone's dresses because I wanted to. I told her that if she wanted to, she could buy her own dress if that made her feel better. She said she didn't have the money for a dress she would only wear once. She then rang me and shouted that I was a pompous person and all sorts of other expletives. I just told her if she didn't want to accept my offer, then she didn't have to be a bridesmaid. Better yet, if she wants to be nasty, she can just not come at all. Her best friend Eliza, who is 33 years old, rang me and told me that what I said to Melly was so cruel and that I needed to apologize to her or she might never speak to me again. I'm fine if she wants to take off in a huff, but I just want to make sure I'm not somehow in the wrong here. Another perspective would be nice. Am I the asshole? You are not the jerk. It's super common these days to help pay for your wedding party's attire unless explicitly discussed ahead of time, especially if you're requiring them to wear a certain style or color. She is projecting her insecurities onto you in a cruel way. Leave things as they are unless she apologizes and joins the rest of us in reality. Am I the jerk for flipping out on my parents? I really needed to talk about this and get opinions. When I was 5 years old, my stepmother and father met. From the beginning, my stepmother hated me and constantly compared me to my stepsister. As time went on, my parents became neglectful. They would stay in their room for hours, smoking and playing video games. My father would drink and get really angry over minor inconveniences, resulting in screaming matches. They would buy expensive food from delivery companies and snacks for themselves. If any of the kids ate them, they would get mad, yell at us, and make us stand in the corner for hours. They also made us do a certain amount of push-ups or wall sits until we couldn't anymore. My stepmother would constantly tell me my biological mother hated me and wanted nothing to do with me. From the ages of 12 to 13, I became very reactive to these things and would yell back whenever they became mad at me. Their response was to put me in handcuffs, sit on me, and record me having mental breakdowns. At 13, Child Protective Services got involved, and I chose to move in with my grandparents and go no contact with my parents until I was 18. I chose to try and have a relationship with them again because I was pregnant and wanted parents in my life. I am 20 years old now and have been maintaining contact with them, only seeing each other occasionally. Yesterday, my stepmother texted me asking if they could visit us soon. I told them they were welcome anytime, not thinking they would want to visit the same day. 2 hours later, I received a text from her saying she was on her way. Both parents came, and things seemed fine at first. My stepmother then said, "If there is anything from your childhood you'd like to talk about, we can." I responded, "There's not really anything. I think we all had a lot of mental health issues, but I don't think putting a 13-year-old in handcuffs, sitting on them, and recording them having a mental breakdown is appropriate." Their mood completely flipped, and they became defensive immediately. I cut them off and said, "If this is how it's going to go, then you need to leave." They got up as if they were leaving, but then sat back down and continued arguing with me. I started recording the argument. They began raising their voices, saying they don't regret it and would do it again. I gave my father another warning. At this point, I was very obviously scared, shaking, and crying. I said, "Please stop yelling. I'm uncomfortable and this is my home." But they continued to argue, saying they never did anything wrong and would do it again. I started freaking out and yelling at them to get out, literally over and over, while they slowly walked to the door, still arguing. We continued the argument outside of my apartment. It was just me yelling at them to go while they continued to say hateful things, like I wasn't their daughter and they never wanted to be back in my life in the first place. They said that I was the crazy one and that my yelling at them to get out was me being crazy. Am I the asshole for freaking out on them? You did nothing wrong here. Bringing your child around these people will not be good for you or them. Realistically, involving horrible people in your life will only poison you and your children. It's best to cut them off again and look elsewhere for family because the fantasy of them stepping up just isn't worth it. Am I the jerk for requesting that my roommate's boyfriend no longer be around the apartment? I, a 22-year-old female, and my 23-year-old female roommate and best friend have lived together since freshman year of college, going on 6 years now. We had an amazing, pure friendship full of laughter and good times until about a year ago. She started dating this new guy, a 23-year-old male who has decided to wedge himself between our friendship and cause a lot of problems. Long story short, he started to text me and tell me that he would rather be single and called her psycho. He then said he has had dreams about me but would not tell me unless we were alone and in person. I declined. After about 6 months of them dating, he basically moved in, but did not contribute to any rent or bills. This is something that had upset me, but I kept my mouth shut. One day he texted me and said he missed hanging out with me and could not even say my name in front of her. He said he texted me more than her and that I needed to mend my friendship with her so that I could be around him more and we could all hang out together. He then said he loved getting attention from me and had a lot to say but did not want to put anything in writing. I screenshot everything and sent it to my friend. I showed her both sides of the text messages because I had nothing to hide. I requested that since he had caused so many problems, been inappropriate, and disrespectful to me, he should no longer be around the apartment. If this was an issue for her, she should consider finding a new place to live. She agreed that he would not be around anymore and that I did not have anything to worry about. A couple of days later, he showed up on my doorbell camera at the apartment alone and without her. I sent her a text reiterating that I did not appreciate him being there and did not want him around me or around at all when she was not present. She freaked out on me and basically said all of this was my fault. She said every relationship has problems, so I need to stay out of it, and I cannot tell her what to do in her own apartment that she contributes to. Needless to say, she chose to be with this scumbag after all he had done in the past year, showing that he is not loyal to her and has made me feel uncomfortable in my own apartment. This is a basic piece of the entire story, but with the key points made, am I the asshole for requesting her boyfriend not be at the apartment anymore? I think you are not in the wrong here. It's a tough situation and it hurts the friendship, but she made her choice, and it's a bad one. For your own protection, get a lock for your room and keep it locked until this is resolved. Unfortunately, she won't change her mind, and this guy won't change his ways, so it's probably best to move out. Am I the jerk for socially engineering my child's friendships? Amy is my daughter's best friend. They are pretty much inseparable at school and spend a decent amount of time together outside of school. I like Amy okay, but there is always some small drama going on with the two of them. They tend to argue more than Alice and her other friends, and long term I do not really see the friendship lasting. They are just different in a lot of fundamental ways. That said, I have never tried to discourage Alice and Amy's friendship. I have always been willing to have Amy over at our house and try to set up playdates if Alice asks. Gia is another of Alice's friends. They do not hang out as much at school because Gia has a group of girls she tends to hang out with on the playground, and Alice prefers to spend time with other kids one-on-one. Gia and Alice get along very well when they do hang out though. There is never any drama, they always have fun together, and they have a lot of similar interests. For what it is worth, Velma and I get along better with Gia's parents than we do with Amy's parents. Velma and I split the job pretty evenly when it comes to contacting friends' parents and setting up playdates. For several months, when I am handling it, I have been doing some social engineering to try and encourage the friendship between Alice and Gia. If Alice specifically asks, "Hey, can Amy come over for a sleepover?" I will reach out to Amy's parents and try to set it up. But if Alice just says, "Hey, can I have a friend over this weekend?" then I will reach out to Gia's parents first every time. Sometimes I will just reach out to Gia's parents independently and ask if they want to get the kids together, and then ask my daughter if she wants to hang out with Gia, and Alice usually says yes. I get the impression that Gia's mom in particular is kind of doing the same thing, and is also happy to encourage the friendship between the two girls. Velma noticed recently and she thinks it is not okay. We ended up in a mild argument about it. Velma thinks we need to completely leave Alice's friendships alone and just let her hang out with whoever she wants to hang out with. I do not see anything wrong with encouraging Gia and Alice's friendship. I am not forcing anything. Gia and Alice became friends by themselves, and if Alice does not want to hang out with Gia right now, I let it be. I am also not discouraging Alice's friendship with Amy at all. I agree that would be wrong. I am interested in an unbiased opinion. Am I the asshole for socially engineering my daughter's friendships? You are in the wrong here, OP. Time to start backing off and not trying to steer your daughter's friendship choices. She needs to make those decisions by herself. It's part of social development. Puberty is a stone's throw away, and if she even gets a slight sniff of you meddling, she'll go 180 degrees against what you're trying to do. Let the kids be kids and just have fun for now. Keep up the effort. Your head's definitely in the right spot. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.